welcome to another edition of Hope Healthy Living. I'm Hope. Hi, co-host.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
I am amazing and I'm excited to start this video.
Wow, you look great. I love your new hairdo.
Thank you.
Flawless. Great. So today it's a special one. Why? Because it's been 8 years now that I lost my mother, and we thought, because this week I'm thinking of just how many people have, lost someone because of this COVID-19. So we thought it would be nice to share with you some of the things that I did to cope with my mother's passing. And it's a difficult process, especially, during this time of the year. So it always comes back. It's never easy to remember that she's not here with me, but definitely I have moved from being so sad about it to just celebrate the moment that I spent with her. So we're going to be talking about that and sharing with you, because Invision Hope Healthy Living is about finding ways to stay healthy, but also to be happy, right? We have to celebrate life and be hopeful, even though at one point in time, this life will end, So, and think of so many people right now just trying to find ways to heal um, from losing a loved one. So we're going to talk about it.
So my first question for you today about this topic is what went through your mind when your mother died?
Oh,
you got the news.
Yes, it was heartbreaking. I was very sad, even though I knew she was sick, but you always hope that somebody is gonna heal from whatever they have going on. So it's very sad to hear, that someone died, especially for me because I wasn't able to see her, so I wasn't there. It was very sad. I was very sad. And I was just thinking of so many things I would have loved to say.
So who did you go to for comfort to deal with this sad event?
Yes. I rely heavily on my family. We got to talk on the phone every day. So they gave me updates on what was going on back home in Africa. And I definitely had my husband, your dad, and of course you and your brother. So though you guys were little, but I still remember hugging you guys when I was crying a lot. Then, after that very strong feeling, I had a time where I just started reflecting. It helped me. It was very therapeutic for me to write. So I started writing, about just everyday life, things that I remember doing, things that my mom did for us. So I started writing. And so this is one of the things that I did, was to write about this in this small, I would say book, but this one is really the draft because I sent the final copy in Cameroon. So it had your picture right here because you are named after my mom. It had your picture holding this beautiful portrait of my mom. I don't know if you can bring it close to the camera while I look for the picture. Can you see? Yes, can you bring it close? Great. Yes. So that's one thing I did. And, I sent it with the music I wanted them to play during the funerals. And I think I'm going to find, yes, here. See, this is you holding the portrait. And maybe we can bring it close to the camera so the people at home can see. So if you can see, this is Pearl holding my mom's portrait. So yes. So this was one way, to deal with my pain. And let me tell you, right now, so many people are just wondering, how do you deal with the sadness of losing someone, especially during this time with this pandemic where you cannot really have visit, right? You cannot have friends coming over in many cases. So it's a difficult time. But one way to heal from it, right, is just to process it. And you can write down your thought, you can write down your feelings, things that you would have loved to say to the person. And so in a few minutes, I will read, some of the things that I wrote about, my mom, just to say thank you. So do you have another question before I start reading?
I don't really have another question, but I have just something to say. With all the people dying with the coronavirus,
yes,
and just everybody, a lot of people being in solitary confinement, and just being cooped up at home, in many cases, it leads to depression.
Yes, definitely. Wow, thank you. And I can tell you that so many people just have this moment where you think, oh, this life is not worth living. It's a very sad moment, You go inside a very deep, deep sadness. It's like a dark place. And, just yesterday, I think, I was watching one of these new video of Lady Gaga, that's a celebrity. And in that short video, she talked about mental health and how at one point, she went through, a difficult time. And it reminded me of the time I went through when my mom passed away, the things I went through, very difficult, But why we're here today is to tell people that there is hope, right? You can get through it. It's not easy. I did a lot of writing and I'm still processing it. Even, just having this conversation with you, wearing this shirt, remind me so much of just what happened 8 years ago, because this is what we wore for my mother's funerals. So it's a process. You can only ease the pain because losing a loved one, no, you don't think of it. And I want my mom to be here and be able to see you growing and be able to, you never got to know my mom. So she will be proud of you. And I think I wrote somewhere that I hope one day she will be proud of me, but maybe I was thinking of you. She will be proud of you. I'm going to read that in a moment. Yes. So, yes, you do go through some kind of depression for sure. But, there are so many ways. I did the writing. I did a lot of yoga and, just stretching. I remember that my husband just gave me the time, to process that. So I was doing this exercise every day around 6 o'clock, I remember very well. And it helps me a lot. It helps me process. Yes. And another thing, I had this special dish, the stuff that I ate with when my mom was alive. Whenever I cook one of those dishes, I have good memories of my time with her, and it always feels like she's there with me, so it makes things much easier for me. Yes.
So, what else did you do besides exercise and writing to help with the sadness and emotion that comes along with that painful event.
Yes. I pray. I'm Christian, so I pray a lot. Even though at that time, you have all these questions like why, why does this have to happen, and it's a difficult time. So of course your faith is important, but for me at that time, I have this period where I doubt my faith, I didn't like the fact that we have to die, and I didn't like what the Bible said. So it took me some time, but now I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay understanding that, we return to ashes, and understanding that it's a process, and that one day, we'll be in a better place. So, yes.
That's a very good explanation.
Mhm.
So, are you gonna read us?
Yes, definitely. And let's start with this because this one is really what I wrote for my mom, to say goodbye to my mom. So I'm going to read a few of them. I wrote it in French and English, so I have to find some of the English lines. Okay, so here, this one, it's a picture of you holding a rose.
Mhm.
Yes, and I said, we hope the day will come and we will be together again. And Paul will then be able to offer you this beautiful rose. Yes, okay. This is just a draft, that's why they're coming out, but I sent the final copy in Cameroon. So let's find another one. And here, this is a picture of you and my mom, you and me. So I said, we love you, Mom. That was a beautiful picture. And here, I think this is where I wrote mostly in English. Let me find another one. And one thing too, I said, we pray and hope to see you and all our loved ones who left us, right? So we will keep our finger crossed and your memories alive. Promise, Mom. I don't know why, but even though I'm Christian and religious, but I always thought, when I was little, I always crossed my finger when I had a wish, and it just stayed with me till today. Maybe as a Christian I shouldn't, but I always, still have that little superstition. So here's another one I said, free, free, free like a bird. You lead the way. The path might be long. You will find your way. No more pain and suffering, just love and peace. Up above the sky, we look for you with bliss. We love you. Love you, Grandma. This is a beautiful one. See? I'm so glad that I'm doing this show with you, because not only I'm processing this even as we are speaking, right? But I'm also sure that it will help someone else at home. And so another thing that I did, here's some writing that I would love to read. Do you mind?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here is something I wrote. Because when I left, my mom was sick. So she's been sick, on and off. Before passing, she was in poor health for some time. But I remember saying goodbye to my mom when she was sick. And she said, come back soon, She hope I will be home soon. So I said, come back soon, she murmured as pressure filled my chest and my throat. It was too much to bear. I wanted to cry, but I didn't. I wanted to say how sorry that I was leaving, but I knew she didn't need that. I didn't need a doctor to tell me that Mama was now, struggling to hang on a vine. Her thick, glowing skin now unappealing brown, hands loose in places where large muscle once occupied. She was almost bone and skin, no muscle, no fat. However, Mama was relentless in her fight. I'll be home soon to visit you, I said, choking on my saliva. She needed reassurance that I was coming back to visit soon, maybe in a month. So that's one thing I wrote. And another one, I said, Mama, I will make you proud of me someday. I said that each time, I visited this, not really visited, but I went through this cemetery when we were living in a different city. And every time that I would pass by the cemetery, it felt like I could feel my mom present. And, it was a beautiful cemetery. And I could imagine my mom right there every time I passed by. And, those are some of the things that went through my mind. And I wrote about that. And one day you'll be able to read. This is very long, but definitely. And so it's a great way, to process your pain. Write about your feeling, write about, your thought, but mostly write about the good moments that you spend with a person. Yes. So, any question?
No, but that was a very beautiful thing to write, and that was very nice to share it with all of our viewers.
Yes. And that's one other thing I would like to read when we come back.
And now I'm going to ask a few more questions to my mom.
Yes.
So, what did she like to do? What were her hobbies?
Back then, my mother, she took care of us. She had 12 kids. That's a lot. So it's a house full. So basically, she spent a lot of time just taking care of us and cooking and cleaning. I don't know what she liked to do beside that. It really took most of her time. Well, I can say she did like to visit with friends. She had one or two friends, who came and visit with her from time to time. And she went to she had like a social gathering, where women meet and then they talk about, their issues, they talk about kids. And usually they would also make some kind of money collection where they each have like a contribution. And then at the end of maybe 6 months or 7 months, they will take that money and give it to someone else, maybe to finance, a project. And so, yes, it's something that I can explain to you in another video, but that was something that she did on Sundays. So Sunday afternoon, she went with friends and they have that kind of social gathering. It was really something that was on her schedule. And, but the thing I remember the most about my mom is going shopping, in Africa. Every market day, which is like once a week, we will follow my mom to buy food, And I wrote something about it. Would you like me to read?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So I'm starting where I'm kind of describing the market. So there were women from neighboring villages selling their crops, which they strategically arranged to appeal while using different tactics. I remember my mother, who mastered all the tricks these merchants could pull out. Checking items like potatoes or yams by actually moving them around, inspecting each one of them, looking for any sign of freshness, or making sure she was not being misled. Her game plan was simple but consistent. Like an expert, she lifted those items on the top, and then she would stretch her hand. You know, it's like a basket, right? You have all these potatoes nicely arranged, but sometimes on, beneath, a little bit down, it's like a little empty spot. And so my mother, from so many years of shopping and doing the same thing, she knew that you really have to stretch your hand, under and check to see that everything is, that you have enough potatoes down there too, because the way they would arrange it can be a little bit misleading. So there will be a little bit of empty spot. Not everybody did that, but a lot of time there were people who, would do that. And so my mom knew that. And it was always interesting to see how my mom was able to say, hey, this is really not full. And then the woman would just take 3 or more potatoes and put on top, and it will satisfy my mom. So that's one thing I remember. Yes. So, it's really great for me having this conversation with you. And the fact that we're doing this is because I know that, somewhere someone else might need just to listen to what we are saying, Maybe someone is going through a difficult time. So, but there are other ways, Some people like to draw, and some people will sing, And there are so many ways, but you have to do something to help you cope with the loss, right? So I hope that this video is useful, right? I hope that someone might find it useful. And because what we are doing is trying to share our experiences and learn from others. So that's our goal, and that's our mission at Invision Hope, envisionhope.com and Hope Healthy Living. So this is the end for this video.
With that said, we're gonna wrap up this video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and a comment below to tell us what you want to see next on our channel.
Yes.
So we can keep making amazing videos for you guys. We love you so much. Check out our website and follow us on Twitter so we can tell you more about ourselves.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it's great sharing our experiences. And, don't forget to check our website, envisionhope.com, as Pearl just said. And we will see you in our next video. Thank you for your support. And can we
subscribe, share, and look at our Twitter and our website.